Hello parents, hello students, this is Mr. Kissinger. I'm back again doing a video on dividing fractions, and we're going to get things started off with some examples here. So in this first example, I'm sure parents are probably wondering why we were dividing a certain way. So I'm going to show what we were doing in class, and then we'll talk about why as we go through it. And students, this is just a great reteaching of how we did it with models. So the first we have is 1½ divided by 3/8. How many 3/8 go into 1 1/2? So I'm going to draw a picture here. That's going to be one hole. I'm going to draw another one of those little rectangles, and I'm going to cut this into half. So right now I have 1 and 1/2, and so I need to figure out how many 3/8 go in here. So I'm going to chop these up into 8s. So I'm going to chop this up, 1, 2, and do the same over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 pieces here, and I have 4 over here. Remember that there's only half of them. So because of that 1/2. Now, how many 3/8 go in here? So I'm looking at it. I have 1, 2, 3. All of these are going to be part of 1. 1, 2, 3. All of these are going to be part of 1. 1, 2. Oh, I have to go over. That's all right. All of those are part of 1. 1, 2, 3. And all of those are part of 1. So the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4. My answer would be 4. I can get 4 3/8 in 1 1/2. Now eventually we start learning there's a much faster way. And so what students were taught to do is we take 1 1/2, and a lot of them knew this from earlier, is we're going to change this to an improper fraction. 3/2, again divided by 3/8. Well, we're going to, and the way we taught it in class is we're going to keep the first one. I'm going to, here we go, never mind. We're going to keep the first one. The first fraction never changes. The division becomes a multiplication, and then we're going to multiply this by the reciprocal, 8/3. So looking at this, 3 times 8, we have 24. 2 times 3, we have 6. 24 divided by 6 is the same as 4. We get the same exact answer that we had before. So let's do another example here. Now we did the model. We did the model basically. Bringing this back here real quick. We did this just for kids to have students to have a visualization of that 3/8 is going to go in here, and then you can get an idea that there's 3/8 is a small number, and you're going to get 4 of these little small things in 1 1/2. And so the models really do a good job of showing that. But we don't want to keep drawing models our whole life. We need to know the fast way. So we've done a lot of things with like keep, dot, and then flip. I've heard keep, dot, flop. A whole bunch of different ways. I'm okay as long as we keep getting correct answers. So whatever works for you. Let's do this one. 5/7 divided by 1/3. So I'm going to change that. That division becomes now multiplication. And I'm going to flip this. 1/3 becomes 3/1. So that's going to be 15/7. Or 2. There's 2 7s can go into 15, and 1/7 will be my answer. Let's talk about this one here real quick. So we have 5/7, and we're dividing by 1/3. So basically what we're doing there is you can think of it as just doing a really large fraction. 5/7 divided by 1/3. But we don't like this down here. We want this to go away. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to make this, our denominator of this super fraction, become 1. And the way we do that is we use a reciprocal to help us with that. So that's why we flip that fraction. So 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 1 is 7. Now if you notice down here, I have 1 times 3 is 3, and 3 times 1 is 3. 3 over 3 is just 1. That's just one whole. And anything that is just 1, anything over 1 is just that number. So like 4 divided by 1 is just 4, 5 divided by 1 is just 5. And so here, that gets rid of this division. So this is why keeping the first one, changing the division to multiplication, and then flipping this and using the reciprocal, this is why it works. Let's do a couple more examples here. Our next example is 8 divided by 1/5. So a lot of times students, when we did a whole day on this, how many 1/5 go into 1? The answer is 5. And then we have 8 ones here, so it's going to be 5 times 8, which is our answer is going to be 40. Let's just do it the other way just to prove that it still works. We're going to keep the first one. If you want, you can make it 8 over 1. Makes no difference here. Division becomes a multiplication, and we're going to use the reciprocal here. 5 over 1. 8 times 5 is 40. 1 is 1, so it's just 40 over 1, which is just 40. Just like what we said before. Let's do another example. This time, what happens when we have a fraction divided by a whole number? Well, I have 1/4 of something and I have to split it among 6 people. It's going to be really tiny little parts. So, again, keep the first one. Division changes to multiplication. In my 6, we can think of 6 as 6 over 1. So when I flip that, it's going to be 1/6. And my fraction is 1/24. Again, really small pieces. A lot of students realize it's just going to take this, multiply that, and so we get 1/24 for our pieces. Here's our last example. What happens when we have 2 mixed numbers? And so let's jump right on in. We have 4 1/8, 2 3/5. The easiest way is to change these to improper. So 4 times 8, 32, plus 1, 33 over 8. Divided by 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13 over 5. Now, same thing. Keep the first one. Division becomes multiplication. Flip that. 5 over 13. Well, looks like I probably should have chose some nicer numbers here because this is not going to divide nicely, or there's nothing I can simplify, but that's alright. Not all numbers are nice. So 5 times 33 gives me 165, I believe. 8 times 13 is 104. So let's change this to a mixed number. 104 goes once into 165. With 61 as my remainder. So 1 and 61 104th. And I'm looking at that, and that's not divisible by 3 either. And that's not divisible by 3. So I believe this is probably going to be as simplified as you can get. So not a happy answer, but it's what we have. So 4 1/8 divided by 2 3/5, 161 104th. I hope this video was helpful. If you need a little more help, please come see me after school. Parents, I hope this was also helpful for you as well. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.